UFC Fight Night Azerbaijan, Jamal Hill versus Khalil Rountree Jr. took place last night. Overall, it was a pretty terrible fucking card. The main event was lackluster. Fiziev versus Bahamondes was a good fight. Blaydes versus Kuniev was terrible. My boy Orolbai got it done though. And this fight was good as well. But besides these three fights, there were three good fights out of this card. And everything else was complete and utter dog shit. But yeah, let's get straight into it. With the main event on the card, Jamal Hill versus Khalil Rountree Jr. I'm not apologizing to Khalil Rountree, bro. He still looked like fucking shit this fight. Alright, look. That's gonna get a lot of dislikes in the fucking comment section, bro. Just go ahead and leave the hate comments already, bro. I am not a big fan of Khalil Rountree Jr. I think he's kind of a strange guy. But I will say this. He is definitely a better fighter than I gave him credit for, alright? I'll say that. But he's still not a good fighter, in my opinion. Because I think that ever since Jamal Hill got his ACL injury, he just is not the same person he used to be, man. And I know that sounds like cope, bro. But if you go and watch the Glover fight, the Johnny Walker fight, the Thiago Santos fight, if you go watch those fights, man, Jamal Hill, he is fast, he has good boxing, his footwork is somewhat decent. And dude, there's nothing that Jamal Hill can take away from this fight and be like, I did a good job. You know what I mean? With the Pereira fight, at least he can be like, okay, I got caught in the first minute, right? Yuri fight, at least he won a round against Yuri and was winning the third. With this fight, he got dominated. He got knocked out. I got knocked out. You got dominated. Now, Jamal Hill was the one who got dominated. He got dropped about 3 different times in this fight, and every time that Khalil Rountree landed a leg kick on him, bro, it spun him around like a fucking Beyblade. Jamal Hill had nothing for Khalil Rountree on the feet. I really think that Jamal Hill needs to move up to heavyweight, bro. Like, let's be completely honest with ourselves. It looks like Jamal Hill's skill has just progressively declined ever since he became champion, and it's to the point where I don't think he can beat anybody in the top 15 at light heavyweight. I really do think that Jamal Hill probably needs to move to heavyweight, but I'm not going to matchmake him with anybody at heavyweight because I don't think he's going to move to heavyweight. I think he'll stay at light heavyweight. For Jamal Hill, I think that he should fight the winner of Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Walter Walker. Listen, man, any way you slice it, Jamal Hill is fucking cooked, bro. Like, I don't think he beats a single ranked light heavyweight, bro. Like, he just looked terrible. And it's just the result of him, you know. Dude, he just, like, his footwork was so bad. Like, when I watched Muhammad Usman versus Hamdi Al-Wahhab or whatever, I was like, bro, Muhammad Usman has the worst footwork in the UFC by far. And then I watched the main event, and literally, it might have just been from the leg kick damage in early round 1. Like, Jamal Hill, like, when he switched stances, he couldn't fight out of his fucking orthodox stance at all, man. And he's just cooked completely cooked. So, yeah, I think Jamal Hill should fight the winner of Kennedy and Walter Walker. They'll both be on good win streaks if whoever wins this fight. And I think that Khalil Rountree Jr. should fight Dominic Reyes. He did not take very much damage in this fight. Should be a short layoff for him. And Dominic Reyes, he's looking to get back in the cage within the next month and a half or so. Let's keep Khalil Rountree Jr. active. This is a decent win for Khalil Rountree Jr., bro, but here's what I'll say. We're going to call him Khalil Runaway Tree Jr., all right? Because that's what he did this entire fight. He just ran away, and then anytime Jamal Hill engaged with him, he low kicked him or he countered him, and he was doing good. Every time that Jamal Hill engaged, Khalil fucked him up, bro. Anytime there was an exchange, it was either Khalil landed a big powerful shot on Jamal Hill. But I'll say this, bro. If Jamal Hill just like backed up the whole fight himself, nothing would have happened in this fight, because I don't remember Khalil Rountree being the person to push the action once. Jamal Hill was the person walking forward the whole time, bro. Dude, it just pisses me off, bro, because Khalil didn't even look like that crazy in this fight. Like, he looked mid as fuck, but Jamal Hill just looked like he never stepped in the cage before. He was literally like tripping over his own feet. And when Khalil fucked up his leg and he had to switch to orthodox, he got fucked up, bro. So, it is what it is. Khalil, I guess I underestimated you a little bit. Next fight on this card, we had Ignacio Bahamondes versus Rafael Fiziev. Ignacio Bahamondes' main training partner is Bilal Muhammad, one of the best wrestlers in the UFC. How does Ignacio Bahamondes not know how to stuff a takedown from Rafael Fiziev, who should be a 145er. He was landing good shots, especially in that third round. Even in the second round, he was landing good shots as well. I thought he was winning the second round until he got dropped at the very end, and then you got to give the round to Fiziev because it was a close fight. He was landing good 1-2s, but Fiziev, bro, every time that Bahamondes, I predicted Bahamondes to win this fight with a kick. Any time that he threw the fucking kick, Fiziev was doing his classic lean back shit. You know what I mean? Like where he ducks the kick by just leaning backwards like he's in the Matrix. He should have thrown... Why do nobody throw axe kicks against Fiziev? When he leans back like that, if you just come down, you're hitting him every time. But yeah, man, Bahamondes disappoints me. It was a close fight. It was a competitive fight, but he lost every round of this fight. He needs to go back to the drawing board. He needs to work on his grappling a lot because, let's be honest, man, Fiziev, he's super small for the division. If you're getting out-grappled by him, people like Gamrot, people like even... like Oliveira, Saruki, anyone at the top will fuck you up in the grappling if you're getting fucked up by Fiziev. So, alright, so first and foremost, I think that Rafael Fiziev versus Benoit Saint-Denis is the fight to be made. BSD has yet to prove why he belongs in the rankings at 155 pounds. Yeah, if Fiziev decides to move to 145, I think that him versus Josh Emmett could make a lot of sense, but it really just depends if he wants to move up or go down. And for Ignacio Bahamondes, I think that he should fight Chase Hooper. I think Chase Hooper is somebody that has climbed up the rankings, deserves a ranked opponent or someone just outside of the rankings that will get him there. He's on a pretty good run. So I think that Nacho versus Chase Hooper is a fun fight to make. Next, bro. Oh my God, was this fight fucking awful. Okay, I heard him say he tore his ACL in the first round and that's why he looked terrible. That honestly could be true, and if it's true, then his performance makes a lot of sense. But regardless, bro, why was this fight even booked in the first place? And this just proves my theory, bro. Like, this fight, honestly, it could have gone to Rizvan Kuniev. I scored it for Curtis Blaydes. He outstruck him, and he held him against the cage and did more damage. In the second round, like, the third round was pretty close, but this fight should have never been made in the first place, man. Why is Rizvan Kuniev, a known steroid cheat, getting a top 5 heavyweight in his first fight? Like, this is the state of the heavyweight division. It kind of makes me nervous now that fucking Jones has been stripped. Like, what is really next for John Jones? The Cyril Gane fight, we know how that goes. Almeida, who lost to Blaydes. How terrible is Gelton Almeida? Yeah, man, like, there's just, like, what's going on at heavyweight is kind of disgraceful. I think that Curtis Blaydes versus Cyril Gane should be the fight that gets made, or Curtis Blaydes versus Volkov 2. Now, Volkov, he honestly should be getting a title shot because I think that he beat Gane. He has a previous loss to Curtis Blaydes. I think that you could help Volkov get his L back from Blaydes, and I think Volkov would probably win that fight easily, and then you can justify Volkov versus Aspinall too. Or you could do Blaydes versus Gane, because that's two people that haven't fought each other yet, but it looks like Gane is going to get the Aspinall title shot. So for Rizvan Kuniev, I think that Rizvan Kuniev versus Mick Parkin is the fight that needs to get made. And here's why. Mick Parkin had a lot of hype going into this, put on a nice 5-fight win streak in the UFC and ended up getting fraud checked by Marcin Tybura. I don't think that Rizvan really deserves a top 10 opponent in the UFC, especially after the performance that he just put on. Like, yeah, he could have beat Blaydes, but Blaydes literally had one ACL. So I don't think he deserves a ranked opponent. And I think he deserves someone right on the edge of the rankings. So somebody like Mick Parkin makes a lot of sense, in my opinion, for Rizvan Kuniev. Next fight on the card. My boy got it done, man. Dude, I was literally wearing my Mick Orolbai shirt while I was watching this fight. And, like, first and foremost, let's address the elephant in the room. He missed weight by fucking 10 pounds. And he never should have done that. And it's really fucked up to Tafik Musayev, who is older in his career, but this was his UFC debut. If he said no to this, you know, the fight's in Azerbaijan, he really can't say no, I'm not going to fight him, because the whole reason he's even on this card is because it's in Azerbaijan, and the only reason he even got signed to the UFC is because it's in Azerbaijan. So he couldn't really say no even after Orolbai missed weight, and that's pretty fucked up of Orolbai, and he should probably move to 170 because this is his second time missing weight in his last 2 fights. So yeah, That's the first thing we got to address, bro. Like, fucked up on Orolbai. But at the same time, I can't help but be happy, man. I can't help but be happy for Mikhailov Orolbai. He's my boy. This guy puts on bangers. And I know bangers, all right? This guy's a fucking killer, man. Went out there, got the takedown. Kind of boring on the ground a little bit, I'll give him that. But completely dominated Musayev. He hit him a couple times, and then like Musayev like slipped, or I guess he was off balance when he hit him. Like, it wasn't like a real drop, but Orolbai was smart and hopped on him right when that happened. Ended up getting top position at the end of the second round. No, my bad. At the end of the first round, he ended up getting top position. Cranked himself to Kimura, got it done. Mikhailov Orolbai, you are a legend. You are the GOAT. You are my hero. All right, enough of the glaze, bro. But who do I think Orolbai should fight next? I think that Mikhailov Orolbai versus Ludovic Klein makes a lot of sense. Klein is coming off a loss to Gamrot where he got absolutely destroyed. He needs to prove that he's able to wrestle. Orolbai, he is a wrestler, but he needs to prove, if he stays at 155, he needs to prove he can make weight. And if he doesn't make lightweight again, he needs to move up to welterweight forever. But if I was going to match him up against somebody at welterweight, bro, I say that Orolbai versus like D-Rod, maybe like Renat Ferdinand, maybe like Mike Malott. Orolbai versus somebody in that fringe rankings of the top 15. And for Musayev, I'm not really sure what's next for him. Maybe he can get himself an unk like a Bobby Green after he loses, or maybe he can get himself somebody like that. All right. Next fight on this card. Holy shit, this was one of the best fights of the year, bro. And this was the only good fight, like highly entertaining fight that was on this card. You know what I mean? Nicholas Mota, he goes out there in the first round and is cracking Nazim Sadikov, landing crazy combinations on him. And at one point, he hurts Nazim Sadikov and he gets him up against the fence and he literally lands probably a 90 punch combination on him, bro. Literally just starts teeing off on him and going crazy. Just landing and landing and landing and landing and landing and landing. Going absolutely berserk. But then he gassed out after he did that, bro. He like dropped Sadikov in that exchange as well. Anyways, he gasses out and then Sadikov just starts going fucking crazy himself. Starts landing these crazy kicks, spinning shit, and then he just, starts teeing off against Mota against the cage and puts him out cold, man. And it was a crazy knockout. And here's something I will say about this card, bro. There were only 2 finishes on the whole card, which is very disappointing, considering this is the sport of violence. There's only 2 finishes. It was this fight and Orolbai. Everything else went to decision, man. This card was a decision fest. I thought this fight was a robbery, bro. Shame on Muhammad Naimov, all right? Muhammad Naimov versus Bogdan Grad. Muhammad Naimov literally just ran backwards the entire fight, worse than Khalil Rountree. It was just doing nothing, bro. Like, I thought that Bogdan Grad won the second and third rounds. I don't remember what rounds it was, bro, but he definitely won the third. Naimov was just running away the whole time, bro. I guess you could say Bogdan Grad wasn't doing anything in the clinch, but at least he was trying. At least he was trying to make the fight interesting. Fuck Muhammad Naimov. Fuck Bogdan Grad. This fight was boring as fuck. Dude, this is another fight that went to a decision. Seohyo Ko versus Oban Elliott. Oban Elliott got fraud checked. This guy, Seohyo Ko, he was known to be a knockout artist. Knock people out, right? Ends up being a great grappler, surprisingly. Putting the win streak of Oban Elliott in the dirt. The hype for Oban Elliott is over. He got dominated, as Jamal Hill would say. This guy got dominated. Yeah, man, it's just back to the drawing board for Oban Elliott, to be completely honest. He just got completely dominated in this fight. He got out-grappled. He got taken down at will. He got beat up on the ground. And he threw up a submission attempt at the end, and Seohyo Koi was doing wagging his finger. No, you cannot submit me. He fucked him up, bro. Seohyo Koi is a good fighter. And honestly, it's crazy because this guy was known for his knockout ability. He went out there and showed great grappling. And yeah. Next fight on the card, bro. Dude. Fuck this guy, Ismail Nurdayev. I hate this fucking coward. Cut him from the UFC. I never want to see his fucking face ever again in the fucking sport. Fucking Young Park goes out there. He won every single round, bro. And he won the first round. Clearly won. But he was getting eye poked. Nurdayev eye pokes him. He keeps eye poking him. He poked him in the eyes like 4 times. And then in the second round, He takes Jung Young Park down after Jung Young Park has already like wobbled him. He takes him down, and then he illegally knees him in the face and cuts him open and shuts his eye, swells his eye up and shuts it. And Jung Young Park showed why he's a fucking G, man, because he could have cowered it out just like, what was the Bellotto? He could have just said, I'm done, I'm not fighting anymore. He could have done what Bellotto did. It would have been a fucking disqualification for Nurdayev, no question. But Jung Young Park said, I'm a fucking real one. And he kept the fight going, and he won, bro. So Jung Young Park, Iron Turtle, you gained a new fan today. I already was a fan of you, but now I'm an even bigger fan of you because you just showed that you're a real fighter, man. You are, like, this guy is the definition of a fucking marauder, man. This dude is best friends with Spider-Man. If you didn't know, it's Ned Leeds. He just showed why he's a fucking killer in the sport. And Nurdayev, he's a coward, bro. He got dominated. He got destroyed. And he got 2 points taken, which was very rare. Last time that happened was against John Jones. So, this was a good fight. Now, I think that this fight could have been scored for Azat Maxim. But yeah, I think that Tagir Ulanbekov won this fight. I saw a couple people screaming robbery. There was a weird scorecard. Like, there was a 30-27 for Tagir. It's like, how do you score that last round for Azat at all? You can't. I meant for Tagir at all, you can't. Yeah, I think this fight was super, super fun to watch. Tagir was getting all this tough takedown stuff by this guy. He was getting hit a lot. You know, I think that Tagir is basically just like one of these like Team Khabib people if they didn't have any athletic ability whatsoever, you know? Like, he was not stronger than Azat. Like, he didn't have any of the abilities like Islam or Umar does to bully people. He basically just had their skill without any of their athleticism, you know? And that was enough for Azat to deal with, which he still lost because Tagir is really good, but Tagir gets beaten by other people in the division. He's not one of these unstoppable Dagestani fighters, you know what I mean? So I think Tagir won the fight. I think that there's an argument that Azat could get it done, but I think Tagir should probably fight the loser. He should fight Bruno Silva, the flyweight Bruno Silva. And Azat, he can fight anybody at flyweight. He needs to just pick up a win because his last 2 fights have been close. He's had 2 close fights with 2 good people. So, and Mo Usman versus Hamdi, bro. I know Mo Usman would get this done. Here's what I'll say, bro. I think that Mo Usman has the worst footwork in the UFC. Even worse than Jamal Hill's. This guy was like tripping over his own feet, you know? And Hamdi, he was landing good leg kicks in the first round, and that won him the first round. And then he decided to never throw another leg kick after the second round. He just never threw another one. Until the third round, he threw one, and it hurt him, and then he never threw another one again. Hamdi should not be a UFC fighter. He should be 0-3. Cut him from the sport. Mo Usman, he's the destroyer of bums. He gets destroyed by anybody that's somewhat good. So, yeah, that is my reaction to the card. That's every fight I would make, bro. Once again, I'm not apologizing to Khalil Rountree Jr. I will say that I did underestimate Khalil Rountree Jr. a lot. He has improved a lot from what he used to be, but he's still not very good in my opinion. I still think that Yuri beats him. I think Pereira obviously already beat him. I think Ankalaev beats him. And I think, but yeah, that's my opinion on the fights. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.